Yes. So you'll find in our big ideas, so that's at arc-invest.com, the building blocks for our price forecast. And our base case is in the $600,000 range. Our bull case, and we think the probability of the bull case has increased with this SEC approval. This is a green light. Our bull case is $1.5 million by 2030. You can see the building blocks. You can see how conservative we are in terms of those building blocks. This is a big idea. It is the first global, decentralized, digital, rules-based, critical there, rules-based monetary system in history. It is a very big idea. Yes, our first paper on this was in 2015. The white paper is still on our site. And we tried to figure out, could Bitcoin serve the three roles of money? Store of value, as you say, most people agree with that one. Means of exchange, unit of account. And the answer to that was yes. We put out a Bitcoin brainstorm with our partner Bitcoin Park in Nashville. And it examines the convergence of artificial intelligence and Bitcoin. And you'll hear his nickname's Roast Beef on that podcast talk about that convergence and how it's going to redefine the division of labor. It's probably going to put the gig economy on steroids. And it's starting already in the emerging markets, in Africa in particular. So it's very exciting. I don't think people understand how hard at work the developers around the world have been. Lightning Network is a big part of leveraging the base layer Bitcoin. So we're very excited. And we're so happy that ARKB is going to be part of the ecosystem.
ARK Invest's Cathie Wood believes that over the next few years, Bitcoin is going to 40x, going from its price today to $1.5 million per coin. Cathie first bought Bitcoin back in 2015. At the time, Bitcoin was only $250. Cathie was one of the first institutional investors to recognize the enormous opportunity. Now, almost 10 years later, her firm ARK Invest got approved to launch a Bitcoin ETF. In an interview this week, Cathie stated that she has never had more conviction in Bitcoin than right now. She pointed out in 2023, Bitcoin turned a corner. When Bitcoin's price increased amidst the regional banking crisis, the narrative began to shift. No longer is it just a risk-on asset, but it's now also a risk-off asset. On one hand, Bitcoin is a bet on technology, a bet that the world and monetary systems will continue to become more digital. At the same time, Bitcoin protects you against inflation and the devaluation of the dollar. It also shields you from counterparty risk, so it's a risk-on and a risk-off asset. In Cathie's eyes, in terms of returns, there is no competition. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where Cathie breaks down why she's never been more bullish than right now. Also guys, if you want to stay most up to date on the crypto and Bitcoin world, make sure to subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It gives you the latest expert predictions, any breaking news, and top on-chain analysis all in a nutshell. Click the first link in the description to join over 40,000 others in becoming a better crypto investor right now. Now here's Cathie Wood with why she believes Bitcoin is going to pull a 40x over the next few years.
Yes, typically in a situation like this where there are a lot of competitors, the market consolidates. So we would expect that to happen. We hope and trust that we will be one of the winners. And I think from our point of view, we have some competitive advantages. A lot of people are talking about fees, and I'll get to that, but there are three competitive advantages that I think are very important. One is our infrastructure and operations. Our partner 21 Shares has built this infrastructure and been operating 40 different funds through booms and busts, through halvings and forks and airdrops, and and through periods that the ETF industry just has never seen. So our infrastructure is battle tested. The second is research. As you know, we give all of our research away. Our first blog on Bitcoin was the year of our founding, 2014. Our first white paper Bitcoin, could it serve the three roles of money? We did in collaboration with Art Laffer in 2015, and we gained our first exposure in Bitcoin at $250, and have never left it. We think the story has just begun. So we've been putting prolific research out there, and now we have a Bitcoin monthly report and a Bitcoin brainstorm monthly. So we continue to give our research away, as does our partner 21 Shares. And then the third, and this is not to be underestimated, the third competitive advantage we have is a sales force that started selling our exposure to Bitcoin in 2016. That's when we partnered with Resolute Investment Management. And I remember in the early days, they were saying, oh my goodness, what is this? What's Bitcoin? And so they had to figure out what Bitcoin was, and they paid a lot of attention to our research, and they have developed conviction. I mean, Bitcoin's been a marvelous investment. I don't think there will be 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. Some may close, some may be consolidated into bigger companies. The more pure play companies may be bought out by the larger players who need more of that expertise in-house. So I do think the process of closing and consolidation will take us down to 3, maybe 4, but more likely 3. Well, you'll see that we did, even before today, we scaled out of GBTC as the discount narrowed so dramatically into ProShares Bitcoin futures. So let's say as a first stop, I can't talk about what we are doing or are going to do in the future, but logic would suggest that we'd be making another move at some point. So that we will not lose exposure to Bitcoin. We're probably more excited about the possibility of price appreciation now that despite the controversy, the SEC has given a spot Bitcoin ETF the green light. I think finally institutions will feel more comfortable stepping in. And what's so interesting right now is that already outstanding, there are, I think it's 19.6 million Bitcoin. There will never be any more than 21 million. 15 million of that 19.6 are in what we call strong hands. Their wallets have not moved Bitcoin in 155 days or more. That's 75% of the outstanding. So now we believe there's going to become, as institutions enter, real scarcity value, and each dollar moving in will have more of an outsized impact now than it did before we got the green light. And what Vanguard is doing is basically saying, the world's not going to change. These new financial rails are not going to be successful. We're still going to have 7 middlemen between merchants and consumers, each one taking a toll. And we just don't think that's going to prove correct. Truth always wins out. Innovation solves problems. There's a lot of friction in the financial system. And we believe that Bitcoin, blockchain technology generally are going to take a lot of the friction out of the system. The other reason I think this is a terrible mistake is, they're going to deprive the investors who stay with them of really the first global, decentralized, private, no government oversight, rules-based, critical phrase there, monetary policy, monetary system in history. My mentor, Art Laffer, you may know him from the Laffer curve. He's also a monetary scholar. He said, this is what I have been waiting for 50 years since they closed the gold window in 1971. He is so excited about this new asset class. And that is the other mistake I think that Vanguard is making. It's depriving its clients of access to a new asset class. And what do we know about new asset classes? Well, if it's truly non-correlated or exhibits very low correlation of returns to other assets, then what a diversification into this new asset class will enable is increased return per unit of risk. That I think that advisors have a fiduciary responsibility to look at this new asset class, and to the extent they're working with Vanguard, they will be prohibited. So again, I think it's a strategic blunder, but again, we're all about disruptive innovation. That's all we do.
Right.
This is the most profound disruptive innovation taking place in the world today. Yes, our base case is roughly 600,000. Our bull case, and we think the probability of the bull case has gone up now that institutions have the green light. Our bull case is closer to $1.5 million in the next 10 years. So what the biggest risk we were running was our regulators chasing innovation from American shores. And so that was the biggest risk we were concerned about. I think after 2022 and all the crises we saw back then, including the bankruptcy and unwinding an ultimate bankruptcy of FTX, that actually proved the case for Bitcoin. You know, it's interesting. Sam Bankman-Fried did not like Bitcoin. Why didn't he like it? Well, it's a completely decentralized network. It's completely transparent. You can watch wallets move Bitcoin from one address to the other. And you look at FTX, it was completely centralized, completely opaque, and it turns out completely fraudulent. So I think in terms of the risks to Bitcoin, the regulators have been so staunchly opposed, mostly Gary Gensler, I would submit, but there is another regulator opposed, that I think we have studied and done as much due diligence about the health of this network. That's why we put out a Bitcoin monthly, that it would be very difficult to perpetrate fraud in the base layer of Bitcoin. Any of the hacks you've heard about are on applications built on top of the base layer, and those are software errors that enable the hackers in. But the base layer, which is the monetary system after all, has not been hacked. So I think that the regulators, while it was very frustrating, and while the courts had to make some rulings in here, the regulatory resistance, I think, has hard-coded, if for want of a better word, the security and safety of the network.
So there's Cathie Wood from ARK Invest with her unwavering belief in the future of Bitcoin. Cathie's bold prediction of a 40x increase in Bitcoin's value, reaching $1.5 million per coin in the coming years, underscores her deep conviction in its potential. From her early investment in Bitcoin back in 2015 when it was just $250 to the recent launch of ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF, Cathie has consistently been at the forefront of embracing the opportunities in the crypto space. In today's interview, she reaffirmed her confidence, highlighting Bitcoin's evolution and its new role as both a risk-on and risk-off asset. Her insights into Bitcoin's dual nature as a technological bet and a hedge against inflation and counterparty risk are indeed compelling. As we wrap up, remember that this is just the beginning of a transformative journey into the world of digital assets. Cathie's perspective opens up a window to the vast possibilities and returns that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies offer. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It's packed with the latest expert predictions, breaking news, and top on-chain analysis, all designed to enhance your understanding and skills in crypto investing. Join the 40,000 others who are navigating the crypto market more effectively by clicking the first link in the description. Anyway guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, all the best.